Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is LB the Realist. This is Surrealistic Studios, where the realists are real. Thank you for joining me today. So, back to the seriousness. Myanmar violence. Thousands flee fresh fighting in Kachin state. So, I don't think I've reported on this as of yet, but this has been going on for a while now. There's all kind of, like an ethnic cleansing going on in Myanmar right now. Let me read through the article and I'll have a better understanding, because I've heard of it and I was like, damn, that's fucked up. It's one of those things where you just, everything else is going on, you're trying to get everything else done, you're like, damn, I'm gonna cover that, I'm gonna cover that. Well, I'm finally covering it. This is from BBC News, and they say at least 10,000 people are believed to have fled their homes in Kachin this year. So it's April 28th, 2018. We're 4 months in. Thousands of people have fled renewed fighting between the army and ethnic Kachin rebels in Myanmar's northernmost state. Some 4,000 people have been driven from their homes since early April, according to the UN. Okay. It comes as a long-standing conflict between the Kachin Independence Organizations, KIO, and government troops escalates. The military is said to be pounding the rebels with airstrikes and artillery. As well as the thousands displaced, there are fears that many people remain trapped in conflict-stricken areas near the border with China. Aid organizations have urged the government to allow them access. Our biggest concern is for the safety of civilians, including pregnant women, the elderly, small children, and people with disabilities, Mark Cutts, the head of the UN's Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Efforts, OSHA, told AFP News Agency. We must ensure that these people are protected. Who are the Kachin rebels? In addition to the Rohingya crisis in western Myanmar, also known as Burma, the country's north has seen clashes involving other ethnic minorities. The Kachin, who are mostly Christian, have fought for greater autonomy in this predominantly Buddhist nation since 1961. Across Kachin and northern Shan state, an estimated 120,000 people are displaced by the fighting. The Myanmar government has for the past 6 years pursued peace agreements with many other ethnic insurgent armies, says the BBC's South Asia correspondent Jonathan Head. But fighting with the relatively well-armed KIO has continued, and they remain one of the most powerful rebel groups. Why the surge in violence? Sporadic fighting has taken place since a ceasefire broke down between the KIO and the military in 2011. Rights groups say the army has stepped up its campaign while global attention focuses on the Rohingya crisis, which has seen some 700,000 people flee to Bangladesh. In a report last month, the UNHR highlighted a spike in human rights violations and abuses, including extrajudicial killings, torture, and sexual violence. Wow. What has the international response been? The country's de facto leader, Aung San Suu Kyi, has been criticized for failing to end human rights violations and restricting access to aid in Myanmar. The UN has called on the authorities to stop dismissing reports of abuses in Kachin. Meanwhile, the U.S. Embassy in Yangon said it was deeply concerned about intensified fighting in the religion in a statement on Friday. We call upon the government, including the military, to protect civilian populations and allow humanitarian assistance to be delivered to those affected by the conflicts, it said. And I believe, that is the end of the article right there. So again, this was from BBC News, a very short piece about the Myanmar violence. Again, thousands are fleeing into Bangladesh from Kachin. And there's some kind of war going on, basically, between the government's troops and an organization called the KIO, or the Kachin Independence Organization. So, just another one of those cases of, government versus the people, and people being displaced and people suffering because of it. So I'll go ahead and stay on top of this. This is the first time I'm reporting this. This one mostly talks about people fleeing the Kachin state, but I'm going to read more about the Rohingya crisis in general to see what that's all about. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Like this video if you like, share it if you feel as though it's shareable, and subscribe to me if you haven't before, so we can stay in touch. That's what I said. So until next time, love from your hearts, because we don't have enough of that going around. Remember, to keep spreading enlightenment, have peace, and I'll see you guys on the next one.